What's up, guys? So, my name is Carson Shoddy. I'm 19 years old. I did my first bodybuilding show this last year and hoping to do very many more. So, I'm just trying to get into the routine of doing more things a bodybuilder would do to make myself more of the bodybuilder that I can be. So, today we're going to be going through a full rest day of eating and basically just showing you guys everything I eat. It's pretty simple. I just finished off my peak off season. I'm cutting off a few extra pounds right now, and that's it. Just eating good, staying tight, keeping it simple. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna start off with ingredients before we start putting everything together, just to show y'all what we got to work with. We're going with cream of rice. We have ground cinnamon. It's gonna be sugar-free syrup. I'm using this because I don't get protein powder in the meal. So serving size is about 30 grams or so for 15 calories, so keep it about half of that, put about no calories in it. And then we're going with a berry blend of blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, which the fruit, you get about 50 grams of this in the meal too. And then I'll get an apple sometime before my next meal, along with starting the day off with about a half gallon of water or so. And I'll probably drink about a gallon and a half, so about 3 of those a day. And once we get this in the microwave, got the coffee going too. All right, so little hand cam, get the scale zeroed out, 0 grams, put the bowl, zero that out one more time. And then we're going with 80 grams of cream of rice to get about 60 grams of carbs for this meal here. Just gotta get it pouring out here. There's barely anything left in this, so let's hope it's enough. Should be right. And we're a gram short and the box is empty. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and zero that out one more time. Pop open the cinnamon, and we're gonna put a little bit of there, about a gram, put a little bit extra, keep it at a gram there. All right, we're gonna zero that out one more time. And the way that I like to make my cream of rice is we do the grams of cream of rice times 3 to get the grams of water. So that was 80 grams of cream of rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 275 grams of water coming from this jug here. So go ahead and just start pouring it in until we see 275 on the scale. It's 260, still a little, it's all good. 274, close enough. Close that back up. We're gonna grab a spoon real quick. Go ahead and just start mixing it in. You wanna get the cinnamon kind of blended in with the cream of rice, just so it's not like lumpy or doesn't taste weird or anything. At least just personal preference. Maybe you don't have to do it, but I do every time. And then probably do this for about 30 seconds or so. Now, if I had a milk frother, I'd probably do it the best. But that broke, so we got a spoon. Now you see it's blending in there a little bit better. All right, I don't really care to get it too fine. Once all right, so for the microwave, we're gonna go ahead and pop that open. Grab our bowl of cream of rice here. Go ahead, slide that in, not to spill too much more. We're gonna put that in for 2.5 minutes to start. And then once that's out, pick back up the camera, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that back in there for about another 3 minutes or so. But now, while that's in the microwave for the first couple minutes, what we can go ahead and do is grab a mug, and we're gonna get the coffee going as well. Other side of the kitchen, what we have here is our special Black Friday Lowe's mugs that I think they're gonna be giving away again, so not too special anymore, but at least we got that. That's pretty cool. We got our espresso maker right here, but we don't got any mix for that. I'm sure y'all saw the other coffee maker on the other side of the kitchen. No filters or coffee grind for that yet. So we're going with the Dark Magic Dark Roast from Green Mountain right here. So just using the simple pure eggs, pop the pot in right there. Oh shit. Can't be letting all that fall in, all right? Pop open the water. Go ahead and get that back there. And we'll pour in just about 8 ounces or so into there. Fill that up. Close that back up. Make sure that little tassel doesn't get in there. All right, put that in the back. And then
Gotta make sure that's turned on. Throw the mug in right underneath, and there we go. Coffee started. Now we're gonna go get back to the microwave, finish up our cream of rice. Now that we got our cream of rice, it's kind of half clumpy, half watery. So what we gotta do here is grab our spoon again, and you see all the cinnamon's kind of mixed up in it. Just gonna slowly start stirring that back together. And then it'll essentially be just about done once we finish mixing this up. All the cream of rice is gonna get absorbed with the water. And it's gonna all start getting a little bit thicker. And then what we do after that is go ahead and throw it back in the microwave for about another 2.5, sometimes 3 minutes. That's normally when I do 100 grams of it on my training days though. So 2.5 should be just fine for this amount. But see, it's already starting to thicken up. There's not really any water left in this. Go ahead and do just a little bit more here. And honestly, the worst part is how much gets stuck to the spoon. See all that? Now, hands are clean, luckily. Barely woke up and already washed them, brushed teeth, everything. So just gonna go ahead, scoop it there. It's burning hot. Just scoop it off. You don't wanna waste any food here. And look. All right, now that that's all done, I'm just gonna go ahead, make sure everything's off the spoon. Spoon will stay pretty dirty. And once it cools off, we'll go ahead and eat it pretty much. So we're gonna throw that back in the microwave for about 2.5 more minutes here. All right, so see that on the microwave, we got about 2.5 minutes going there. All right, and then next pretty much all we got to do is the coffee just about finished. So now I'm gonna grab my apple, cut it up, maybe take a bite or so, throw it back in the fridge. So gonna grab the apple. All right, we got our knife from a Pioneer Woman. Got a nice little knife set for the wedding gift, pretty cool. All right, so go ahead and show y'all how we cut this, just to get about 4 pieces out of it. All right, so yeah, counter's a bit old. It's an older house, but it's gonna be mine, so no complaints. Then go ahead and slice it. All right, a little uneven, can't see the core. Normally like to, just so I can get the sides, and then we'll cut it down just like that. And if we got a little bit extra around it, we can go ahead and take that as a bite. All right, and then that's just about it. Once the cream of rice is done, we'll pull that out and show you how we finish it up. All right, so here, we got the coffee all done. That's also gonna go with the cream of rice in just a second. I'll show you all that. So this is how we love the cream of rice to look like whenever we're finishing it up. See, it still moves just a little bit, but what we go ahead and do is throw this and the coffee in the freezer for about 5 minutes. And then that's it, all right? But oh yeah, let's go ahead and get the scale back. We gotta get our fruit here. Berry medley blend, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and get just about 50 grams into here. There's 40, and that. One more piece there. There we go. All right, we got about 47 grams, so kind of right at the mark, all right? So all done with that. Now that's about our 50 grams of fruit right there, if y'all can see, all right? And then with our syrup, what we're gonna go ahead and do, reset the scale, zero that out, and then just a nice little drizzle, just a little bit. And 1 gram over, but we are, oh, actually right at 15, there we go. So it's kind of how it looks like at the end. It gives it a little bit of almost kind of a, not really liquid texture, but it makes it so it's not as dry, which always helps me the most. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, we can grab a spoon, stick that back in there, grab our cup of coffee, find a little spot. We're gonna put 1 bowl up here. That whole section is pretty much meat, and the rest is kind of just stuff we throw in there. It's a freezer, so we're not gonna really use too much of it. And then we can fit the coffee right in there. All right, and then all right, so what we gotta do now that that's in the freezer is we're gonna set a timer for about 5 minutes, and we're gonna go hurry up and get that eaten so that we can get started making meal 2. And today I purposely did not prep any of my meals for today, just so that I could make this video, because normally I'll, at the end of every day, I'll go ahead and prep all 5, 6 meals, depending rest day, training day, however it is. And that's also one thing that I do, is since today's a rest day, carbs are gonna be a little bit lower, protein's a little bit higher. So like this meal,
Not too much protein. I do gotta get some egg whites out for it, but I like to get those a little bit later. Not really I really just don't like those too much. Not a big fan, so don't really care. And then yeah, so protein's gonna be a bit higher. So like normally on training days, what we do is we get about 180 grams of meat per 4 meals after meal one. Meal one would have about 50 grams of protein with some protein powder. And then today, all the other meals with the chicken or ground beef or steak, however I do it, get about 200 grams of meat per meal. And yeah, so we keep it pretty simple. There's not too much that goes into it. We just like to eat good, like to train hard, and that's about it. All right, so a little bit later into the day now, we're getting into meal number 2. This one is gonna be, let's get the scale going. This one's gonna be 200 grams of chicken and 220 grams of rice with 8 grams of olive oil. This is my favorite one, extra virgin Spanish olive oil, bold flavor, good for dipping and drizzling. Best flavor I've found. All right, so we're gonna start. Basically, I get all my chicken cooked for the week. So all I gotta do, grab a handful, toss it in. Grab 140, 180, 199. It's gonna be perfect right there. Probably add in one more little piece, 200. Right on the dot. All right. Rice. Got my rice made in a pot here. Some's already eaten out of it. We're gonna zero out the scale one more time. Grabbing, just using the spoon for this. I don't like touching rice at all. I normally don't mind touching the food though, because I don't really care too much. But I got 100 grams there. We're gonna do 130. Another little scoop. It's 175. Timer went off to eat right as I got to 175 grams. We got 200 in here now. We're just gonna get in 20 more. That's 218. Get the little bits off the rice, 219. And maybe like one. There. 220. Perfect on the dot. I dropped our little Santa towel. Leave that for later. All right, so now what we're gonna do is zero that out one more time. I'm gonna grab me some garlic powder and buttery garlic salt Kinder seasoning. These are pretty much my 2 favorites. So I will only salt maybe 2-3 meals out of the day max. I just like to keep my sodium low. It works better with my body. I've tried going up to 10 grams of salt per day and 3 gallons of water per day, and I work better with low sodium and about a gallon and a half at the most. So here I'll put in just about a gram of this and 1 gram of this seasoning. It's all 0 calories, but this has about 240 milligrams of sodium. So if I do 1 gram on 3 different meals, that's 600 milligrams of sodium. And normally taking pre-workout, I'll get in an extra 400 to 600. So I generally try to keep it pretty low, about 1,500 milligrams a day at the tops right now. So put that back, and then same thing with the garlic powder. We're gonna go ahead and just do about 1 gram there. There we go. Put this one back. And then the olive oil, we get 8 grams of. So we'll zero this out one more time. And then very, very tiny drizzle here. Oh, that was a lot. That was half of it already. Very tiny drizzle, there we go. There's 5, 6, 7, and a little bit more. There's 8. There we go. All right, so pretty simple. 3 ingredients plus the 2 seasonings, and that's the whole meal. That's what it's gonna look like. And I'm then gonna throw this in the microwave for another 2.5 minutes there. And then I'm just about done with my first half gallon of water. It's getting a little late in the day. I should have had this meal a bit earlier, but got about a half gallon down by 2 p.m. I can get another half gallon down pretty easily. Have one diet soda. If I get thirsty again later in the day, I can fill this up again, get another half gallon, about a gallon, gallon and a half, plus maybe 1, 2, 3 diet sodas. Diet Coke's the preference, so those are the best. But anyways, go ahead and show you what this looks like whenever the meal's done, all right? One last thing to mention before I go ahead, sit down and eat this meal is off of my meal plan and how me and my coach run things. We don't track calories. We're not tracking carbs, fats, proteins. We're going based off of food amounts. So rest days, I'm eating 5 meals a day. Training days, I'm eating 6 meals a day. One being kind of a post-workout shake with some rice checks and like an extra 50 grams of protein powder. And that's pretty simple. We keep it simple, works easy. I've been doing it for, I think, a little over a year now. And once we post some more physique pics, you can see the difference from my 230 last year to 230 this year. But it works pretty good. I like it. Keeps it simple. Keeps me on track. Gives me a plan to stick to. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and eat this. All right, so we're back for meal number 3. It's about an hour and a half later, so getting back onto our normal eating schedule. And to start, it's supposed to be 200 grams of ground beef, 200 grams of rice. Ran out of rice is 150 grams. I have another pot cooking right now. That should be done pretty soon. That'll probably wait until it's done to eat. Zero it out. And here's the ground beef. Also prep this for the week. Chicken, we're running a bit low. Probably gonna cook that in the next few days or so. And then this, just cut it up with a spoon. And then we're going for 200. Happens pretty quick. There's 130. There's 170. And it's 190. We got 10 more grams right there. 5 more. And one last little bit. There we go. We got 200 right on the dot. So this is going to be the meal. And then once again, we're going to put on 1 gram of the buttery garlic salt tender seasoning. So we'll just sprinkle a little bit on top. There's our 1 gram. And then same with our garlic powder. 1 gram there. There's a little gram. All right. Honestly, one of my favorite meals. Doesn't look the best, but easiest to make, goes down good. And normally this is kind of like a pre-workout meal that I get an egg, and it's down to about the same amount of rice now because we're currently just finished off peak bulk. I think I said that earlier in the video, but we're just trying to cut down a bit. So these are kind of how the meals are looking now. Still pretty big though compared to the prep, so no complaints here. Open up the microwave. Once again, throw everything in there. 2.5 minutes. All right, and then I'll show you what it looks like whenever it gets out, and then I'll throw in the extra 50 grams of rice that we got cooking up right now. That's it. All right, so meal's out of the microwave. Still waiting on the extra 50 grams of rice to come in, which I see the pot steaming, so should just be about done. And then this is kind of how I mix it up. I just like to make sure I get pretty much a bite of both in every bite, because it just makes it taste a little better. So keep things simple, staying on track, and that's pretty much what it's all about. And we'll be back for meal 4 in about 2.5 hours or so. Yeah, and we'll pick it back up there. All right, so time to make meal number 4. Timer went off about 26 minutes ago. I was helping the wife make her meal for the day. Well, not for the day, but her kind of lunch dinner thing. So anyways, we got the scale turned on. This meal is gonna be 200 grams of chicken, 200 grams of rice, fresh pot right here, and single banana. And then I was sipping on a Diet Coke, Santa edition. So, just gotta keep you festive for the holidays. let's get started with the chicken here. Just washed my hands after making our food, so I don't really feel like touching food anymore. So we'll go ahead and get 200. Oh, it's a little much there. 200 on the dot right there. Zero it out. Get that lid off right there. Some fresh rice. Alright, and 140 grams right there. This will make it 190 barely. 195. 200. There we go. Alright, so like I said earlier, I normally do 2 to 3 meals where I'm adding some seasoning or so for like the garlicky butter and salt. So this one we're gonna leave alone, but we're gonna add a little bit of garlic powder because there's no sodium in this. So I get to add a little bit of flavor without any salt really. We'll do about a gram here. So there's a gram. I'm gonna toss this back up. Seasoning cabinet. All right, pretty basic. 200 gram chicken, 200 gram rice. I'll move that new TV remote we just got. Throw it in the microwave. Once again, 2.5 minutes every meal. And we got this little banana we can go ahead and take a bite of while we wait for this. Now we wait, then we eat some more. Final meal of the day. I got a little full after that last one, and we're about 45 minutes past the last timer, so got to get this meal in. We got this is a potato. Got it wrapped up in a paper towel. I'm gonna put it in the microwave. Make some baked potato, mashed potato, something. But yeah, 150 grams of potatoes in this meal, and then we're gonna go ahead. The scale zeroed out. That's the potato peeler. This meal is going to be 200 grams of ground beef and 2 whole eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop us some ground beef here. Alright, we got 150 grams there. Shoot it. That's 202. Take out there, right on the dot. There we go. All right, so yeah, so that we can hurry this up, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the microwave. This is gonna go in there for about 5 minutes. So now that we got the potato in the microwave, this ground beef kind of gets a bit solid the longer it's in the fridge. It's been in there maybe a day and a half now, I think. So not too bad. I think I cooked about 4 or 5 pounds at once and should have about 5 or 6 left in the fridge. But got that chopped up pretty good. Throw that knife in the sink. I used that to kind of cut up that potato just so that all the moisture could really soak into it. And then here, we'll go ahead and get 1 egg done. And these are pasture-raised, cage-free, large brown eggs. Yeah. But most all eggs generally will be, I think, about 35 calories each. So like 70 calories right there. Again, I try to keep a lot of macros out of my head, just keep things simple, stress-free, and just really focus on enjoying all the food that I eat. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, what are you really doing, right? And then what I do with this is I actually mix the egg into the ground beef, so that way, when I throw this into the microwave for about 4.5, 5 minutes, it'll kind of solidify into almost kind of an egg burger. Sounds weird, but you'll see it when I get it out of the microwave, and that's kind of just how I like to eat it. So we got that egg mixed up in here, and then we'll go ahead and throw the egg away, and then we're gonna wait for that baked potato, and then we're gonna throw this ground beef in the microwave, same amount of time as the potato, and then once everything's all done, go ahead and show you the final product, right? So here we go. You now have our finished potato, 150 grams of potatoes. Kind of mash this up a little bit, and then this is that ground beef burger I was kind of talking about, all right? So if we scoop it from underneath, we can almost kind of pick that up as a patty, but it'll start to fall apart. So normally I'll kind of cut it in half or so, but that's how I really get to enjoy that meal. I already had some garlic powder on my ground beef earlier, so I'm gonna leave this just for the mashed potatoes to give those a little bit of flavor. Not too much, not even a gram probably. I just like the potato flavor. But final meal of the day, about to go down. It's 8:40 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and get up at 3:45 a.m. and gotta go to work to go open up the gym, be a personal trainer, and then I get my favorite meal of the day because tomorrow I get to work out and a little bit extra early. So we get a cream of rice meal, but with protein powder. It's like same as this morning's meal, but a little bit better. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this full day of eating. Let's try to get some more videos coming out soon. I want to aim to do possibly 1 to 2 a week. That's the goal. You just gotta stay accountable, just like everything else. Gotta put some work towards it. And yeah, if y'all have any questions about how I live my life as a 19-year-old bodybuilder and personal trainer, just let me know in the comments. We're gonna keep it going, all right?